Press freedom is not in our culture as much as in the West. There are still people who think that the press should be a weapon which political parties wage wars by. And it's a really outdated perspective, I think. Since 2010, when Orbán came into power, it got worse because the partisan pro-government media is controlled by the government.
Man möchte es eigentlich gar nicht glauben, dass innerhalb der EU die Gängelung der Presse so weit verbreitet sein kann, wie man das sonst nur aus Tyrannenstaaten kennt. Aber in Ungarn ist es tatsächlich der Fall. Dort wurde die freie Presse mit perfiden Methoden, Abschneiden von Werbung und staatlichen Regulierungen auf eine Mini-Größe heruntergedampft, sodass es eigentlich fast nur noch staatshörige Medien gibt.
I work for a Hungarian central-left newspaper, Népszava. It's one of the last independent papers, and it's the last independent political daily newspaper. But it's hard for independent news outlets to stay afloat, to have enough money, because we are underpaid, understaffed and overworked, and I was at the public media where the opposite is true. I mean, they are underworked and sometimes overpaid. I personally have experiences how it works between 2015 and 2019 when I was at the public media. The moment I wanted to get out was a meeting before the 2019 European elections. Before that, nobody were brave enough or foolish enough to say it explicitly that we need to be pro-government. This changed during that meeting. It was made not entirely explicit, but really explicit what is expected of us. And I felt kind of disgusted by that. And I also felt that I can no longer, in good conscience, stay there. Especially because it was so disgusting that before an election, during the campaign, they tell us to cover it to be pro-governing parties. That's so. I mean, I even thought about like complaining, but where can I complain? As a journalist, we should always think what is the most interesting thing and what is the most informative thing we can give our audiences. We should inform them, not manipulate them, and that's what I felt that my superiors wanted me to manipulate public opinion. I can't wrap my head around it. I mean, how did we get here that we don't even try to pretend that our media is not biased? Political pressures were encroaching on subjects that were neutral before, like Brexit. We were supposed to be pro-Brexit, which doesn't bode well for Hungary, but whatever, anyway. And I get this offer from Népszava, which I mentioned as the last independent political daily newspaper in Hungary, and I wanted to get out before I have a family. It was important because that's how a lot of people in pro-government media feel that they don't really want to work there, but they have the family and they need to support their kids, they need to feed them.
Die Journalisten, die trotzdem frei darüber berichten, die haben es schwer, überhaupt davon zu leben. Zweitens stehen die unter einem großen Druck, werden bedroht. Und ja, insofern muss man sagen, dass die Situation für die freie Presse in Ungarn sehr, sehr schlecht ist.
I think for democracy to work well, you have to have a well-informed public. And I think it's my mission as a journalist, and I think every journalist mission should be to inform the public, and there is a huge media war, well, ever since the system changed in Hungary, and it only got more and more ugly over the past couple of years. The government does a lot of effort to keep this hateful environment up.
Wenn, wie in Ungarn das jetzt der Fall ist, Journalisten bedroht werden, unter Druck gesetzt werden und die dann auch um ihr Leben fürchten müssen oder über Freiheit und Gesundheit, dann hat man eigentlich der freien Presse dort einen Maulkorb verpasst. Sie existiert nicht mehr und das muss sich ändern. In einem Land der EU, da müssen andere EU-Staaten einen massiven Druck ausüben auf die Regierung von Orbán, damit die freie Presse dort wieder nach EU-Maßstäben, aber auch nach natürlich internationalen Menschenrechtsmaßstäben wieder garantiert ist. Es kann nicht sein, dass Europa sich leistet, ja, so etwas schleifen zu lassen. Schlimmstenfalls werden sich andere Länder daran ein Beispiel nehmen. Und dann war es das mit den Menschenrechten in der EU und mit der freien Presse.
I hope in the future for my children and for my children's children it will be fully democratic and even maybe even exemplary. We are not there yet, and I feel that as a journalist I also have a responsibility to help it along the way.